Grief on the go is what I want to talk to you about today. Grieving while you still have to live life. It's very challenging and it's tasking on you emotionally, physically, everywhere, in any way. While there is public grief, there's also private grief. So in your public grief, it is obvious that we've seen from the way our culture or the past has taught us that there is a way that we grieve in public. You know, you have to meet people, you need to explain the story, you need to explain what has happened, you need to come across as either strong or weak. You're worried about what people are thinking about you, what can people see through you, because deep down in your private grief you are struggling with issues. Deep down when you grieve, there's a lot of things that you try and make sense of, but I think we also try not to show that to the public. And the worst thing that can happen is if we really just break out and express how we feel publicly, but we can't do that. In our private times we have to deal with issues such as the way we feel, such as the anger that we are suppressing, the questions that we have, the way we feel towards the person who died, the way you feel. Is there blame? Is there anything that you could have done? Is there the what ifs? Is there the if onlys that comes up? And that is the internal battle that you're struggling with. And I know about that battle, and that is why I just thought I should just quickly just raise a few things that will probably just help you ease the stages that you are going through, and just also reassure you that you are not crazy and that you are not alone. When you in the public, you're under public scrutiny and you're always under the eye of people who want to see what's happening and people want to hear all that. So privately you have to go through a lot of things that is challenging you mentally, and when you're grieving, it's a matter of getting up every morning and facing the day. You have to face the public, you have to face the arrangements that you needed to make for the funerals. You have to make sure that everything works out to the T. You need to make sure the caterers, the flowers, etc., and all that is done. And while that is happening, while you are going about doing this, you are facing that internal, fighting that internal battle. And that is what I'm talking about. So when you are alone, it's almost as if there's not enough time for you to process what you are going through. I don't know if you've realized that or noticed it or experienced it. Is as if you're trying to make sense of it from, let's say, the minute you've heard the news up until where you are now. And even in your private time, your private grieving is it's as if you cannot answer questions yourself, which obviously you can't. But then that too just leads to so much frustration, and it could build up in anger, and it could build up in you just either having outbursts or trying to shy away from people. But you can't do that, especially if there's children involved. You need to take care of people, you need to take care of your kids, you need to take care of husband or wife, mom and dad, because at the end of the day, you're not the only one in this. You're not the only one who has lost a loved one. So there's a lot that you need to take care of, but you need to take care of you. You need to just take care of yourself first, and that is the person I just want to reach out to today. Grief on the go is, I know you have to fight this internal battle that when you wake up every morning and you realize, oh my gosh, we're still in this and we still need to do this. It's very difficult. So in your private grieving, there are challenges that will come up that you need to face. There are certain things you need to battle with. It is okay. Like I've said before, it is okay to feel the way that you do. Please know that it is normal. You need to face, what would I call it, internal or your own convictions first. There's questions that you'll ask, but there will obviously be no answer. There's no correct answer to what it is that you're asking. There's a lot of people that will come around and give you theology. There's a lot of people that will come around and try and break it down to you, philosophical, try and explain death to you, try and explain certain things like why God did what he had to do. And some people don't realize at some point during your grieving stage, there's a lot of things you don't want to hear. Because be that as it may, you've already processed that in your head, right? I know I have. There's a lot of things that I've processed: the God factor, the me factor, the role I played, my sister, the family. And you don't come to any conclusion that will give you a proper answer. You will not come to any conclusion that will ease the pain. Even if there is an answer to it, it's not going to ease the pain. Unfortunately, you have to go through the pain. It's like a sore. It's like a sore. So when you get hurt, there's that pain, there's a scab, and there's this pain that you need to go through, that you need to take care of. Right? I just wanted to read something to you. A cut finger is numb before it bleeds. It bleeds before it hurts. It hurts until it begins to heal. It forms a scab and it itches until finally the scab is gone and a small scar is left where once there was a wound. Grief is the deepest wound you have ever had. Like a cut finger, it goes through stages and it leaves a scar. Same thing is happening to you at the moment. Your heart is broken into a million pieces, depending on the relationship you had with your loved one that you've lost. And so in order for that scar to heal, you need to take your time. Don't rush through it. We all don't heal the same. We all heal differently. I can never cut, you can never cut, depending on our, biological anatomy, the way we are. We're going to heal differently. I might have a scar that just fades. Your scar might just stay there forever. We all just heal differently. I just want to pray, and I just want to let you know that you are not alone. And I just pray that God's comfort and that His peace is upon you as you go through your grieving stage. If there's anything that is confusing to you at any point, I'm always here if you'd like to reach out to me. I'm not a grief counselor, but I've experienced grief in the most, in the most terrifying way ever. And I think when I speak about it, I just speak about my experience when I had to go through grief. It's not easy. It gets easy. The pain doesn't go away. The loved one doesn't go away. I've also just noticed that, or realized, or assured myself that the pain we feel is just the love that we had for that person. So unfortunately, the love is now being converted into the pain that we have to carry. However, there's one resource that I'd like to share with you that could possibly help you. Might be too early, it might just be the right time, is to something that I've come across was a grief letter. So you can either write a letter to grief itself. I think I've explained in one of my previous posts that we cannot pinpoint our anger, and so because we cannot find anyone or anything to direct our anger to, our anger is towards death. And because death isn't a thing, it's difficult for us to fight death, if I can put it that way. I hope that makes sense. But what I'm trying to say is that write letters. Writing always helps me. I love to write. So write letters. Write a letter to your loved one if you want to. Write a letter to grief. Write a letter to yourself. Write a letter to God if you can't find the words to speak. But know that God knows your heart, so He knows what's troubling your heart. If you want, I've got templates of the letters, believe it or not. I just found that as time went on, the same letter I would write would change. My emotions in the same letter would just progress and would change. That is how I realized that I was growing into this grief process, and with the idea of coming out of it stronger and wiser, and not for it to break me down. So if you would like something like that, if you think it could help you, just give me a buzz or a message. I can forward it to you via WhatsApp or whatever, and you can use that as a resource to help you. If there's anything else that you think I can assist you with, I'm here. I'm willing to help as best as I can. But remember that you are not alone in this grieving phase, in a grieving stage, that there's always somebody that can listen to you or help you out. God bless you.